What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Hope you guys had a great weekend as usual. I had a great weekend. Celebrated my niece's birthday today, which was always awesome. And we had a birthday party here, had a bunch of people. Got stuff in my face. You know how that works. Ate too much cake. And yeah, I'm ready to unwind here on the Hope Shot. If you guys just jumping on, say what's up, let us know you're here. Also, if you guys share this out, we appreciate it. We got a good topic for y'all tonight. And we got Christina in the house. What's up, Christina?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Caesar, you want to read that clarity statement?
You know I do. The Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thanks, Caesar. I know you're always itching, ready to go for that thing. Front door open. Let's see. We got Sober Now in the comments. What's up, Melissa? Let's go. 11/21/13. We do recover. Yes. That's what's up. We got Diantha. Hey, Hope Shot. We got Allie. Hey, went to a haunted house with my niece and brother. Great family time. Excited to be here. Hey, we went last night. We went to a haunted trail. I mean, tis the season for the haunted houses and the family times. And we went to a Harvest Moon thing yesterday morning, and then we went to a haunted trail out in the middle of Florida. And it's every year they do better, and it's always fun, and they get scarier every time. And it's really cool, especially when I'm the one that has Jalen on my arm, and she just like grips into it, like Freddy Krueger in my arm because she's scared, but she still does it. So I have to give her that, We got Rachel. What's up, Rachel? We got Rhonda. Hello, Justin, Nate, Caesar, Christina. Thanks for bringing us an hour of hope. Love y'all. Love you too, Melissa. We got Gina. What's up, Gina? Lynn, happy Sunday to you too. Love you. The spooky season is the best season. Yes, it is. What's up, Vern? Good to see you, buddy. We got Aaron. Howdy from Tampa. Well, howdy to you too from Newport Richie. Well, I'm Spring Hill, but everybody else in Newport Richie-ish. All right. So tonight we are bringing unpacking self-righteousness. And Nate bring this topic, and I think we all can, in one form or fashion, get in our old self-righteous ways. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I first got in recovery, and I was going through, doing steps in my fellowship, and somebody told me I was self-righteous. I was like, the fuck? Me? Self-righteous? And here I am, 6 years in, and I'm like, he was right, because I am a judgmental fuck. I'll tell you right now, But I'm gonna let Nate take this one off.
All right, so self-righteous, having or characterized by a certainty, especially an unfounded one, that one is totally correct or morally superior. And yeah, I was reading my meditation book this morning, and it's funny how these readings align with certain situations in my life. And so, and just for a little backstory, I've been struggling, with my brother, and I had this other situation where I made a mistake last night, and I felt really silly and foolish. But my first reaction is when I feel uncomfortable or I make a mistake is, at first I feel so vulnerable. And when I'm vulnerable, I feel exposed and I get fearful, right? And then I'm afraid what others think of me or how I look, that I look silly or foolish. And in that space, I get all types of messy, I get defensive. I get angry. I don't see things clearly. And what ended up happening is, I made an amends for the mistake. And, with my brother, finally, I just said, because he brought up one good point. I mean, we had been arguing about a bunch of stuff, but he had brought one, and I was wondering what was bothering me so much. And he's like, you haven't really made the time to spend with your nephews. And after I came down from, the exchange that we had, both situations, and I was doing my inventory, a bunch of things came up, and I was like, and I wrote my brother a simple message. I said, you know what, Eric, you're right. I could make more time for my nephews, and I take responsibility for that. And I did the same thing with the other situation. And 2 weeks of arguing and going back and forth and a lot of uncomfortable conversations, as soon as I got out of my way and became humble and realized, that I have been being self-righteous. I have been, looking at everything that he was doing wrong, and it blinded me from my part. And as soon as I did that, I got an apology. He said, I love you and I'm sorry, and he told me how he's been struggling and that he's going through some stuff. And it was very humbling when it was in my gratitude this morning. It's very humbling how quickly God works when I get out of the way, and I take action. And it's funny. I don't really, it's difficult, when I don't really know. I come into this thing so broken and defeated and desperate and pathetic and just full of like guilt and shame and regret, and I start to feel good again. I start to do good things, and I start to get these blessings, and I start to help others, and I forget, that I have like 25 years of bad habits and patterns, and that were super relevant when I was ripping and running, but aren't so relevant today. And what I fail to recognize sometimes is that if there is something bothering me about a situation, a person, place, or thing, whatever the case might be, usually it's a reflection of something that either I've done or that is a part of me, right? Like what I am, and that's what the reading was emphasizing this morning is if I'm, being judgmental or self-righteous about a situation or something, how I'm perceiving something, it usually has nothing to do with that person. It has everything to do with me. And it takes a lot to look at yourself, right? It takes to look at yourself and admit you're wrong, and not only admit you're wrong, but to take action, to have the, the difficult talk, or to, swallow your pride, and it's funny because I don't consider myself a prideful person, but I can tend to be very proud when it comes to, it all comes down to looking silly, and looking foolish, you know what I mean? And how I don't want to be looked at like that today. But it's like, how do I get there, right? How do I get into a space where I'm even able to identify these things, right? Because it didn't matter before, I didn't care, to make an amend or to see my part, I didn't need to. I was a very black and white person, I needed to get well, and I did anything I could to get that, right? And I come into this deal, and I learn how to be an adult. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to interact. I don't know how to have relationships. I don't know how to have friendships. I don't know what it means to, humble myself, or to, apologize when I do something wrong, like, and do it in a healthy, manner, without like anger or full of emotion, and it's, But through this process, you know, I don't believe, me personally, I can't come in here, you know, go through the process, you know, be like, okay, I'm done now. And, you know, let the healing begin. You know, I have to continue on a daily basis to take a look at myself, to go through my daily disciplines, to initiate a conscious contact, you know, to form this relationship with who I believe in, to form relationships with my fellows, to, you know, journal, to inventory, to write gratitude. And in these, through these steps, through these practices, you know, I am constantly like identifying, you know, where I need to work, what I need to work on. And it's funny, I was listening to this talk on Friday, and they brought up, you know, change rarely comes when everything is going well. You know, when I experience the most change, it's through an uncomfortable, unwanted situation. You know, and it's in those moments where I can become the most self-righteous. You know, and I don't want to be the person who thinks I have it all figured out. You know, I don't want to know, you know, I don't want to know everything. I don't need to know everything today. And the only way that I can continue to grow is if I stay in that space, you know, and for me, self-righteousness is thinking that I have this thing licked, right? You know, I've done it. I'm done. You know, I've reached some sort of destination where I don't need to do any more, you know, searching, or, you know, my journey's done. I've arrived, right? And for me, that's a very scary place. And I don't ever want to be there, because for me, I need to continuously seek. I need to do the inventories. I need to be held accountable by my friends, you know. You know, Justin last night held me accountable, and I got in my feelings at first. And then, like, when I came down, I was like, you know, Justin, you're right. You're dead right. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. You know, there is power. You know, I always thought it was weak, you know, to say I'm sorry, or to, you know, surrender, or to forgive, or whatever. I felt I was spent a lot of time in an environment where that, you know, made you weak or less than. And today, for me, the power rests in, you know, swallowing that pride, by becoming humble, by taking a look at my part. And I can't do that unless I'm doing the things, right? If I am not busy in my program, if I don't have a conscious contact with God, those situations aren't going to faze me. But my spirit is in a way today that that type of stuff does not sit well with me. I get physically uncomfortable, you know, when these things are in my space. And that is only because I am constantly working on myself. You know, I'm doing the things that keep me close to my source, that keep me close to my purpose. And when I can't see my own self, I have some friends around me that will show me. And thank God for that. You know, thank God that you know, even you know, 5.5 years into this thing, I still have so much to learn, and I pray that it's always that way, because in that space, I don't have to be right all the time. I know that, and I know that if I'm sitting in judgment of another, I need to take a hard look at myself, because it's probably something I've done before, and I'm, you know, I don't want to be that guy. But I'm not above it either. You know, I still judge. I can still be opinionated, and I can still think that, you know, my way is right. But thank God for this process, for, you know, this connection that I have to my higher power and my fellows, because I understand that, you know, on a soul level, that I am human. You know, I am a human being trying to have a spiritual experience. And in that space where I'm human, I have to give myself a little grace, not beat the shit out of myself for not knowing stuff or for getting it wrong. And, you know, not, because I can regress into, when I am uncomfortable, I immediately go back to, I'm unworthy. I'm not doing it right. I am not enough. I'm you know, people see me in a certain way, that wheels just starts turning. And thank God for having spiritual principles to apply in my daily affairs, so I can have something to turn to when things get dark, when I'm not sure, and I don't have to beat myself up too much in the process, because at the end of the day, I just don't want to hurt people anymore, But in the same breath, not everybody is agree with what Nate's doing, and that's okay. And I have to be all right with that. I have to be aligned with who I believe in with my fellows, and who is meant to be in my space will be in my space. And I have to continue to take a look at, who I am and what I've done, and be willing to make the changes. Thank you. That's all.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, thanks for bringing this topic, because it's such a good topic. Like I said, I think we all can unpack some self-righteousness in our lives. I want to read something. I found this in my computer 5000. It says self-righteousness is a term used to describe someone who believes they are morally superior or righteous compared to others. It is an attitude or behavior where an individual judges others based on their own standard of right and wrong, often without considering alternative perspectives or understanding the complexities of different situations. Self-righteousness can manifest in various ways, such as being judgmental towards others, looking down on people who hold different beliefs or values, and displaying a sense of moral superiority. It is important to note that self-righteousness often stems from a genuine desire to uphold certain principles or values, but it can become problematic when it leads to intolerance, closed-mindedness, or a lack of empathy towards others. It's always good to strive for understanding and empathy, right? Acknowledging that people have different experiences and viewpoints. Instead of being self-righteous, it's beneficial to engage in open and respectful conversations where we can learn from one another and perhaps even find common ground. And I'm kind of glad I asked that or found this, because, like, I mean, in one form or another, we can all um, recognize closed-mindedness in some area, some form. In my life, I know for sure I'm closed-minded in certain areas because it's a lack of understanding. But in my past, that is the one thing that I hated, or that's what gave me that guilt and shame, is being looked down upon because of things I've done or things I believed in or whatever. And looking down on other people now, I could forget quick where I came from. And I think that's one of them, is never forgetting where you came from. Because I don't remember what it was like in the beginning. It's been 6 years, you know? Um, so lacking empathy or compassion sometimes eludes me, right? And I guess it depends on the day. It depends on the work I'm doing on myself at times. And I've really worked on that, because the most person I'm judging when I'm self-righteous is myself, because I'm judging myself so much. In turn, I put it out into the world, and that's what y'all get no matter what, right? So I have worked in the past 6 months. I've really turned inward and started really getting down to the root cause of why I judge people so quickly. And I mean quickly. And when somebody told me I was self-righteous in the beginning, I didn't believe them. I was like, I'm not self-righteous. I don't have an ego, right? That was me being self-righteous because I didn't think I had an ego. I didn't feel like I was, but I was totally. And now that now that I have been doing a little bit more internal work, I understand, and I've tried to put myself in other shoes, and I've really been um I've really been God challenged with that, right? Especially in this last month or two, I've been challenged with that in a certain situation in my life. And I have to have more empathy, because it's now a part of, like, it's part of my family now, right? I have to have empathy. and I have to come and I have to see it from different eyes and their level and what that looks like. Because if I don't, somebody could die. That's just what it is nowadays. Like if I don't have some kind of open-mindedness, that's why we do that clarity statement. Now, the clarity statement is very important because we have to open our minds a little bit to new possibilities because there's people out here dying, right? And having compassion for people, I think that's what we're lacking in this day and age, is having a little bit more compassion for the next person. And so yeah, I mean, I've been really working on trying to the internal work, so I stop judging others so harshly, from me judging myself so harshly, right? I mean, that's what it all boils down to. I'm right, they're wrong, and all that shit. It's just, who cares? Who gives a shit? Who's right? Who's wrong? Because in that other person's eyes, they're right. In my eyes, I'm right. We're both fucking right, right? We're both right. And so I really am grateful for this topic. It's exactly what I've been working on these last 6 months, is the judgment part. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna read a couple of these comments, and then I'm gonna pass it to Christina, and then we're gonna save freaking Caesar for last. The best for last. All right. Oh, let's see who we got. Oh, we got Lisa Monaco in the house. What's up? We got Phil from Seminole. Good to see you. We got Jimmy from Canada. Howdy. Here we go. Jimmy says, I'm a little judgy with people like my parents who still suffer from their addiction. Kind of frustrates me a bit when others don't get sober. I can relate. I can definitely relate. We have Crystal from Lawton, Oklahoma. Thank you, the Hope Shot. Oh, they're good to see you, Crystal. Glad you're here tonight. We got Rudolph Wise in the house. Good to see you. We got Justin Rhodes. Good evening, my friends and peeps coming from Columbia, South Carolina. Keep it real. Keep your head up. God bless everyone. We got Dan that says, a friend of my husband's from AA helped us move a dresser to our house from another friend's house tonight. It felt great to have someone invite me into their home instead of not wanting me there. That's the blessing of my recovery. Roy Lauren. What's up, Roy? The longer I'm here, the more I see areas I need to work on. I feel I know less today than when I got here, and I'm grateful because it keeps me open-minded and teachable. Oh, that's that unpacking we're talking about. Get that shit out of here because it doesn't serve you in the next levels of your life. Good shit right there. Oh, we got Amber Hand. What's up, Amber? Love you too. Dude, listen, I'll tell you what. I just talked about you today, Amber, because Amber like made my whole year, I think, because she was in the rooms, and she just looks so healthy now, and like, I am rooting for you, Amber. I am so grateful to see you. You just look great, and I'm just made my whole year, dude, seeing you come back, and just amazing. I love it. So we got Steve in the house. The Shot. What up, bro? Skis. What up, Big Steve? We got Shannon. What's up, Shannon? Good to see you. We got Kenzie, my favorite person in the whole world. Love you, Christina Coffee. I didn't know that was going to be Christina Coffee after that, but whatever. Even Rachel's questioning the whole deal. Rudolph covers up Nate and Christina. It's so easy to get wrapped up in how to do it properly, or this is the right way, especially when you don't have an outside source that is capable or qualified to give you helpful distinctions. Without this distinctions from an outside source, a healthy outsider looking in, then you're opening yourself up to either damage your relationships, or you could easily end up feeling like you're literally crazy. Thanks, you guys, for so much for getting on this topic. Yes, you can feel like you're freaking nuts. We got, because you're not a person, Rachel. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Wait, hold on. Let me get a couple more up in here. We got Michelle. Good to see you, Michelle. We got Lindsay rooting for Christina. Oh, we got Marcia. Hi, Marcia. And we got Philip from New Mexico. We got Caleb. Good to see you, Caleb. And that's it. All right, Christina. Again, unmute yourself.
There we go. Hey guys, grateful to be here. Yeah, great topic. I've learned that the things that we don't deal with, we're usually we get smacked in the face with them at some point down the road. And same thing. Somebody pointed out how I was self-righteous, and I had to look it up. I had to Google it. And then my first instinct was to question the person that it came from. You know what I mean? So like first I had to look at them and be like, well, and I started making excuses, but I looked it up and judgmental. I was like, yeah, and it was during a time that I was kind of like looking at characteristics and defects that kind of make my life unmanageable on a daily basis and writing on them and stuff. So I add that to my list because there are times when I can be very open-minded, but then there are also times that I'm quick to be judgmental, and it just kind of creeps in like a thought that just comes out of nowhere. And when I think about it, it's usually those times when like I'm falling short. Maybe, some things transpired in my week and, I knew that I kind of just dropped the ball on some things and was lazy and procrastinated. Some silly things like when I want to get mad at the person for driving too slow in front of me because I chose to leave 15 minutes late for work. You know what I mean? Like on that day, like usually it's not a big deal. And when you were talking, Nathan, you want to know what I thought about? It's the silliest thing. But so yesterday when I went to go to Sims Park, I pulled into the 7-Eleven to get the kids some hot dogs because I didn't want to get there at the event and then have to worry about trying to get something to eat. So I go to the 7-Eleven and they didn't have no hot dogs on the burner. And the guy was right across from me working. And I said, hey, you don't got no hot dogs? And he didn't answer me. And I was like, well, I guess I don't get an answer. And I left. Well, I went back there today to get some gas. And the same guy rang me up and I got my gas and he's like, have a nice day. And I walked out without saying have a nice day because I was still bitter from yesterday. And I was out there pumping gas and I was like, oh my gosh, like I almost went back in there to tell him. But here I am, like being all like judgmental, like self-righteous, like how dare they not have, because I want hot dogs, you know what I mean? And it just, it interfered with my day. But those are the little things so that stuff that weighs on my chest, like before, you know what I mean? An active addiction, I wouldn't have given it two thoughts, but I was sitting out there pumping that gas and I was like, I knew that it was me that was being petty. Like I knew that was my part, like that I was absolutely still feeling some type of way about an innocent employee that just happened to not have hot dogs on the thing and probably didn't even hear me ask it in the first place, and it weighed on me and I didn't go back in there and say something, but it did bother me. And like, that's what happens. Like I'll be consumed by it until I'm able to like face it and apologize. And then once I can apologize, I can let it go. And then it's not consuming me, because when things consume me, I mean, they consume me every single second, every single day. Like it's all I think about. So another way that I've been faced with this is like, learning that people grieve in different ways. Right. So I recently lost my brother and we had all the family there and we all had kind of some opinions and some things to say about what this person was doing, and what that person was doing, because their grief didn't look like our grief, and, there was, some things that were said and I just had to realize that like, maybe I'm the person that grieves and I need to be right here at my brother's side, right, in his last days, but this person can't handle that. and needs to stay gone. You know what I mean? Like that's how they dealt with it. They just had to have a reason to go to the store. They just had to have a reason to go here. And some people were like, you know, why do they keep taking off? Well, that just, I mean, it was just too much for them, you know? And who knows, they could have been down the road, like in their car crying, but like to us, it just looked like they were, because they weren't doing what we were doing, right? They weren't right there in the thick of it. So we just, you know, it was immediately just like judgmental. So, you know, I was grateful for recovery going through all that, because I was able to kind of step back and be like, you know, just because they don't grieve the way I grieve doesn't make them any, you know, doesn't make it that they're any less grieving. Another thing is like, I have, you know, that specific family member that's struggling with some things. And, you know, I don't find that I have a lot of patience for, now that I'm like coming up on a couple of years, I find myself being very judgmental about people that go back out and people that just can't, that I see out in active addiction, like in the rooms and stuff, like when they're getting it together, like I really have compassion for them. But out there, I find myself being super judgmental. And one of them is, you know, a family member, you know, and it's a parent of my niece and nephew. And I have to remember, like, I was there. Like anything that I have to think about how she's doing things, that was me. That was me. And I had to really step back and just kind of like check myself, right? Because everybody's owed their path, right? You know, and me sitting here and having a bunch of opinions of what she should or should not be doing is not me being helpful. It's just me being self-righteous, because I was no better. I used to be there. So in noticing that over the last few weeks, I was able to, like Nathan said, I was able to kind of like make that amends and apologize and offer my support rather than being judgmental, and kind of just being like, listen, I'm here if you need me. I got the solution when you're ready. You know, and still, and not burn that bridge, or not shut that door to where they don't feel like they can come to me if and when they do need help. So this is unpacking the self-righteous. This has been a great one for me for the past couple of months, because when I didn't want to like sit in self and grieve and be mindful of what I was going through and my feelings, I found myself kind of wanting to nitpick at other people just to kind of distract myself. And but the difference is today is I'm very mindful of that, super aware of it, and I'm able to catch it. And then I'm able to make a choice whether I'm going to sit in it and continue it, or if I'm going to move a muscle, change a thought, I'm going to do something different. And I'm finally at a place where like I can do something different, like right away. Like if a thought comes in my mind, I recognize it. I recognize that it's me being judgmental, it's me being closed-minded, and I can change that. I don't know what else I really want to add on this subject, but it is a great subject. I'm actually working on unpacking self-righteous every single day, because, there's a lot of times, I have a great one. I'm working on it with my children. So I got a couple of teenagers, and I got teenagers that push boundaries, and it's crazy that I take it as the utmost disrespect, right? If I tell my child to do something and they don't do it, or like if I take my child's phone and then she goes in my room while I'm not home and she searches my room and finds it. I mean, I'm just like, how disrespectful. And then I have to after talk to some people, I'm like, wait a minute. I used to break into my mom's room. Not back then, we didn't have cell phones, but you know what we did have? We had special codes that you had to put into the cable box so that you could access all the channels. And my mom would put that code in and we wouldn't have access to cable. So I would break into her room to find that code, right? So here I am thinking, man, I used to break into my mom's room all the time. I used to go through her stuff all the time. And so then I'm calling my mom and saying, Mom, I am so sorry. I put you through the ringer. But I'm over here chastising these teenagers. How dare you? This is the worst thing. And my kids, my kids are pushing some boundaries, but for the most part, I got good I got good kids, right? I mean, I really do. I'm very blessed. There's some kids out there, you know, I'm blessed. Okay. And the thing is like Nathan was talking about, like, if I don't address this right away, and if I don't, like, you know, stand up and face where I'm kind of in the wrong, and making it more of like a teachable moment for both of us, then I am going to lose them. Like, I'm going to go, they're going to go this way, I'm going to go this way. And then, you know, it's going to be like they're going to be 16, 17, and they're not going to be wanting to tell mom nothing. I'm going to be in the dark. We're not going to be on the same page. I mean, I have a 20-year-old that doesn't even speak to me right now, you know, and that's where that came from. You know, she started making some decisions a couple years ago. And when I kind of voiced my opinion on them, which I thought was me being very loving, but then other people kind of said it came off a little judgmental, and now she doesn't talk to me, you know? So it's just that, you know, probably another way I could have said it. Maybe I could have been a little less, like, I don't know, giving her my opinion and just trying to be supportive. I don't know. But my point is she doesn't talk to me right now, and she hasn't talked to me in 2 years. So I think it's very important that I, like, correct those things, and how I get my point across, and how, you know, how I talk to my children, and how I enforce certain things, and just make sure that, you know, I'm seeing my part all the time, and I'm being honest about my part. And I'm making sure I'm not just, like, pointing the finger and being like the dictatorship in my house, you know, because I'm making up for mistakes for years. You know what I mean? I'm just now kind of getting things normal, but there's a lot of years that I put my kids through the ringer, man. Right. Especially my oldest. I did whatever I wanted, and I just dragged them with me. Right. So it's really on me. I'm the parent. It's really on me to kind of, like, find those areas that I'm falling short, you know, work on those behaviors, and then be that example for them. And that's really all I got. Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, Christina. You know, the parenting thing, this recovery thing. Oh gosh, man, that's a whole nother level. What the hell is that?
That's a thumbs up.
What the hell? Where'd that come from? That's awesome. Let's do that again. All right. The parenting thing, man. I struggle with that a lot. It's like, man, I forget. I don't forget. I've done a lot of shit in my life. Me at their age, you know, it's like I try to be self-righteous because I was doing some shit when I was younger, man. I put my parents through hell, you know, and like they're good kids as well. Like I'm lucky, but I always try to put my own shit on them, or I put it like how they're gonna make me look, right? How does it make me look, how they're acting, and then that's what, like, gets chastised upon when you see these other little badasses. Like, I'm okay. What the hell is going on right now? Is that what it's doing? What is going on? All right. I'm tripping over here, yo. All right. So, Caesar,
You need me
What's
to save
up?
you from the weirdness?
Bro, this is happening, bro. What is happening?
You're not doing it?
I'm not doing it. I swear. I need to know how is that happening though? Because
We've
I need
never
to do
seen
it
it
more.
before. That's
It's freaking
this
awesome.
is a good topic, and it's like a convicting topic for me. You know, it's very relatable. You know, so I come into this recovery thing, and I'm completely just beaten down, empty. I don't have anything to offer anyone, and there's no self-righteousness because I know what I am. I know I have nothing to offer anybody. And I start taking direction, and I start doing what I'm told, and I start getting results from that. And then you repeat, and life gets better, and you get a couple things back. And then I start to think I know something. And that's where the ego starts creeping in. I've got this lifetime that's a shit show. And then all of a sudden I get a couple of years of recovery, and I really think I know something. I'm going to tell you how to do it. And, I've shared on here before that, I've used recovery literature like basically as a weapon, in my early recovery. You're not doing it right. The book says this. You're not doing this, and it's like, where's that get me with trying to be helpful to somebody, hitting them over the head with a book? You think they ever ask me for help again after that? Absolutely not. So one of the best things I did was I went to this CCAR training to get the certificate and stuff to be a recovery coach. And the whole training's about multiple pathways. And I promise you, on day one, my face did not match my words, like I was going, oh, that's so interesting. I'm going, that's not how this works. That's not what I was taught, but the beautiful thing was I went through multiple days in this course, and it really opened my mind up. And then I had it pointed out to me somewhere else in the literature that I went through, that it says we don't have a monopoly on this thing. We've got a way that works for us. If you've got another way, go try that way. Anyway, just, the whole thing that we've got in our clarity statement. I don't care how you get from A to Z, just get there. And, it's funny how we can get self-righteous when I haven't really done anything. Like, I'm patting myself on the back and I'm acting like I'm the Messiah because I showed up to work a few days in a row and I paid my electric bill on time. There's people that have been doing that their entire life. And I want to go, look at me go, look at me go, man. I'm really doing something here. So I'm glad, my sponsor taught me early on. He was like, it's okay to say the words, I don't know. You don't have to know everything. Nobody expects you to know everything. It's okay to continually be learning, and you should continually be learning. If you're truly open-minded and there's a better way, you'll recognize the better way and do away with the way that no longer serves you. And that's how you grow. And that's how things progress in your life. But, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about myself. There's been times in this recovery deal that I really think I know something. And that's funny. When I'm spiritually fit, I can tell you that that's hilarious that I think I know something. I don't know crap. Everything that I spout out on here, I learned from somebody else and they learned it from somebody else. I don't have an original thought when it comes to recovery. It's a journey, like Justin says, and this journey has everything to do with continually learning, continually staying open-minded, continually being empathetic and identifying with people. If I think I'm better than somebody, how am I going to be of service to that person? If I can't remember what it was like for me, how am I going to be empathetic for them? So Justin was saying, it's 6 years, I don't remember what it was like. I 100% remember what it was like. Every time that I have to go to a doctor's office and they look at the scars on my arms and stuff, and, I'm humbled again because I know what I was. I have a track record of decades of doing the wrong thing. I have this short 9-year period of doing the right thing. And I try to grow that one day at a time. And there's no room for me for that holier than thou attitude. Because in all reality, I don't know shit. There are people that have got 30, 40 years of recovery, and they will tell you the same thing. I'm still learning and growing, man. I still get something out of this book every single time I read it. Those are the people that I look up to. It's true humility. They've done something that most of us can't even fathom. They're getting towards that half a century where they've actually been in recovery longer than they were out there. And I'm like, that's huge. And they're like, yeah, it's just no big deal. It's just one day at a time. Those are the people I look up to. There shouldn't be any ego attached to us grabbing a hold of this solution that was freely given to us, that we're supposed to be, giving back. Where's the room for ego in that? What did we really do? And am I proud of myself? Yeah, that's great. It's good to be proud of yourself that you're doing the right thing, and you can be proud of those things. But when being proud of yourself turns to pride and it cuts you off from the very people that helped you and that you want to help, that's when it becomes something that you got to get rid of, the self-righteousness. I have this thing where I try to do everything perfect. Everything. I'll check and double check. And because of the way that I am about perfectionism, I put that out on other people. And my wife has pointed it out to me. I make it so my own kids don't want to talk to me about a mistake they make. They'll wait for Kelly so that they can talk to her, because I'm like, oh, well, if you had put your stuff in the same spot every day, the way I put my stuff in the same spot every day, you find your stuff back in the morning. Well, their brains don't work the same way my brain works. I'm institutionalized. I'm calling it perfectionism. I'm institutionalized. I'm used to taking care of a very small spot. And I always put my things in the same spot, and I can always find my things the next day. But I have to allow other people to be who they are and learn the lessons. So if you can't find your shoes in the morning, you're wearing silly slippers to school. I'm not going to give you a long lecture anymore about you should put your stuff back in the same place. You know it. You already feel bad about it because now you've got goofy bunny slippers on and it's time to go to school. I'm not helping anything by saying my way was right. But what I can do is be of service to my own family and help them at bedtime instead of expecting them to do it the right way, and do my checklist with them and go, hey, did you put your shoes by your bed so you can find them in the morning? Oh, I don't know where they are. Well, let's find them now so we can put them there. So the things that tick me off and annoy me, it's because I'm not being a part of it to help and to teach. And the moment I recognize that the things that bug me are things that I could have a part in and make it so they don't bug me, I'm not doing any action. I'm only doing judgment. Once I realize that, the problem goes away, because then it just becomes part of my daily thing working with the kids. Hey, did you put your clothes out? Did you put your shoes there? Did you brush your teeth? You just add it to the little checklist. I mean, they're 11 years old. They're going to forget some crap. It's okay. The beauty of this thing is every single day we get a shot at being a better version of ourselves. We gave the hot dog guy shit. The next time we see the hot dog guy, we be extra nice to the hot dog guy. That type of stuff. We have another shot at it as long as we didn't pick one up, as long as we didn't, relapse with the way things are out there. If it's just a misstep in the day, we always can make it right. But we have to be willing to face the fact that we're not the end all be all. I don't know everything. And the more I stick around this thing, the less I feel like I know everything. I mean, there's so much knowledge, so much wisdom out there, so many different pathways. And the more I connect to my higher power, the smaller I feel in the world. And for me, that's a good thing. Because if I feel like a big fish in a little pond, that's when I start thinking I know everything. If I feel like a speck of sand on the beach, that's right where I need to be, because my higher power is what's in control. And that is far bigger than I can even fathom. So the acceptance of everything around me being exactly the way that it's supposed to be, that's when I start heading in the right direction. So if I believe that there's this God that created all of us and created this whole earth and the universe and all of this stuff, but I'm going to say he must have made a mistake with that guy over there? No. That's not how that works. The mistake is my reaction to that person over there. And it always comes back to me. Why am I so bothered by that? It's either my lack of action, my lack of empathy, but it's something in me. It's not anything with the guy that's sitting over there at the gas station, you know, because I was that guy. That's why it bothers me. And I could have gone over there and tried to help. And instead I stuck my nose up and went, look at this freaking guy. You know, he was out here begging for change again, you know, like, of course he was. Did I go over and shake his hand and go, hey man, is there anything I can do to help? You know, I also am responsible for my actions. If the guy says no, I leave me the hell alone. I go, okay. And I leave the guy the hell alone and I move on with my life. I can remove myself from a situation. I can add myself to a situation. I can bring something to the table. I can take something away from the table. Everything that I'm in control of is right here. Just me, my reactions, my actions, my thoughts. That's all I'm responsible for. I'm not responsible for someone else's bad behavior, for changing it, for anything. I'm responsible for what I put into the world each and every day. And if I'm fit, if I'm doing the right thing, I can put a lot of good into the world. If I'm not, I can upset a lot of people in a day. And that doesn't feel good when you go to lay your head down at night. You know, like you try to lay there and you know you were a piece of shit that day and it starts running through your head and you don't sleep well. I don't like that anymore. So I try not to do those things during the day. And I try to be available to anybody that asks for help. If it's within my mind and my higher powers scope that we can help you, I'll be there to help you. I'll give you the damn shirt off my back because somebody did that for me. I came into this thing with absolutely nothing, and I've been blessed with so much. It's my job. It's my debt of gratitude to be there for the next person, judgment free, because my guy did not judge me, and I was an absolute disaster. So I need to take that and pass it on to the next person. Yeah, let me put this up here.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my thoughts. I'm responsible to my reactions to my thoughts. So if I think, man, you know, Nathan's being quiet, what's he hiding? Well, then I don't let that thought spin out in my head. I follow up with action and go, hey, Nate, you all right? You seem to be acting different today. That's how I'm responsible for my thoughts. I don't let my false thoughts control my actions today. I open my mouth. I speak to my friends. I speak to people. And we put things out into the light. We don't hold them in the dark anymore. Because if I go, man, Nate's being weird today, and I don't talk to Nate, then for the rest of the day, I'm going to create a Scooby-Doo mystery inside my head about all the things that Nathan has been doing out there. And by the time I go to bed, Nate's a bank robber that slings fentanyl. You know, like whatever you want to come up with. But my mind is crazy. So I got to take it out of my head and put it out into the light so that way it can get back to what it's supposed to be, and that's reality.
That was exactly what happens. Exactly, play by play.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not.
Take it out into the light. I make up some BS in my head. Like I'm a mind reader and I know everything that's going on. And yes, Rachel, it is a Scooby-Doo mystery, you know, because it's ridiculous and there's masks and then that mask comes off and it's just a bunch of BS.
We knew it all along.
What have we always done in the past? We run away from hard conversations. We run away from tough situations. Today we face them. And that's not, you know, and I'm using Nate as an example. There's no factor basis or anything here, but I'm saying, like, if I'm feeling some type of way, I need to pick up the phone and call, or I need to go have lunch and do whatever I need to do to get things out into the light and out of my crazy ass head, because my crazy ass head's a dangerous place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, you know, it's funny because like I'm an excellent mind reader of my wife at all times, right? And listen, it's gotten me in some pickles, I'll tell you right now. But it's far in between, I'll tell you. And it makes these scenarios, these fantasies, you know, that I'm really good at, and I will be in I'll have a tude with her, you know, and she, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but she knows. I know she knows, you know. And it's just, I don't like living like that. I don't like walking on eggshells. I used to say that all the time. I used to walk on eggshells at home for these fantasies that we both come up with, instead of just having one simple conversation with each other and it all comes to the light and it's all done. Under all masks, it's always us. Yes.
You know, in the Scooby-Doo thing, when they're pulling off the mask, it is.
Yeah.
It's always us. It's always us that started the problem.
I knew it. Now I really know.
It was me all the time.
You know, hey, listen, I found out what that thing was, by the way. I looked it up because I couldn't go on anymore. It's like something with wait. Oh, no, let me see if I can get it. Is it gonna do it? Yes, it is. What
is happening, Nathan?
What is happening right now? Let's see if I can get it. Yes, no.
You have too many toys, sir.
No, it's not. If you update your Mac, you can have it too. Yes, for this low price of updating.
I don't have it.
Wait, there it goes. I'm just saying. I just found something so cool. I'll be here all night, folks. I'm sorry.
Look at this one. You haven't lived until you fought your partner in complete silence with a glare. Yes. I can relate.
That's living right there. You know, Caesar, I'm sorry, I squirreled, but I had to get that off my chest. Thanks for sharing, Justin. All right. So, the one thing, see, that you said, I am so quick to judge people that are asking for money. This is what my thought process is, real quick. That dude looks young. Why didn't he just go get a job? Right? That is my thought process every single time. He looks like he's able. But I don't know what the hell he goes through, man. And that's my first jump to judgment. Like, because I'm out here working. And I'm just off rip judging instead of like having some compassion for people. And as soon as you said that, I was like, man, that's exactly where I'm at, man. Like I roll up and I'm like, man, this dude looks young. He could be working instead of out here asking for money. And I can't help it, man. It's just the way it is, you know,
because we think we know everything. He must be scamming and just be lazy. And the funny part, I'll say that. Oh, look at this lazy bastard. It's 98 degrees outside and he's standing on a corner. That's not really lazy, man.
It's working, bro.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Just stop it, Justin.
I'm going to be okay. I promise.
Read some comments. I think we got some.
All right. I will. You're just jealous. I get it.
I am.
Sorry.
I'm jealous. It's true.
I'm dying over here. Woo. Okay. Here we go. We got Chris says, I have a question for someone ready to get clean. Is it better to wean off what they're taking, or is Suboxone a good choice, or just manning up and going cold turkey? Now, I'm just put my experience in, Nathan, you can. For one thing, we are not doctors. We have no clue what you're on. We can't tell you what to do, or all we can do is my experience, and mine was opiates and Xanax. This is my experience. And Xanax wasn't as hard as the opiates, but Suboxone is what I did I winged off Suboxone in the beginning. That's what I did. And it helped me. And I was open about it I had a sponsor and I was open about it, and we came up with a plan, and that's how I did it in the beginning. And then I also went to outpatient treatment, you know, so some people could do it cold turkey. I had the wing off, and I did it with Suboxone, and it worked, you know, exactly by dosing it down. That's exactly what I did. But that's something, you know, that maybe you'd have to talk to somebody about and get with, you know, a support group or a counselor or whatever that looks like. That's my experience. Nate, you can go and no.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay.
We're not doctors. Consult your local physician, your support group. We don't have an authority on what every person should do and what works for their individualized personal situation. There's too many variables. You know, you need to consult a physician and or, you know, go to detox where it's medically assisted. But yeah, everybody's journey is different. Everybody got sober different. You know, we don't have a, you know, an authority on that.
Yep. Diantha says my sponsor has 43 years clean. She has definitely helped me keep me grounded. I've learned recovery isn't a race. It's all about the journey. Yep. Everything. It's not just recovery. It's everything. It's I feel like that's where my breakthrough came through, is when I stopped trying to get to some magical place that's going to free me from, I don't know what. As soon as I let go of that fantasy, that's when things started to change. Oh, no, I did that. Caesar did that one. Let's see. We got Rudolph says, the only thing Nathan is hiding is the most profound things you've ever heard.
Well, stop hiding them from us. Jeez.
I know. He brings them out every Sunday.
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for these rascally kids.
Meddling kids in their mangy mud.
Let's see. Gina thinks that thing was epic. I'm sure that's what she was talking about. Let's see. Lindsay says we can do hard things today. Rudolph, I just saved 15% of my car insurance by switching to Justin's computer.
Oh, Rudolph.
He gets it.
Yeah, he's awkward like us.
Yeah, definitely. Lynn said I had too much cake. Yeah, I'm on I'm a little sugar toast. Let's see, we got Diantha says exactly. I thought I had to work a perfect program and that I had to answer every question perfectly. And it's not about being perfect. You know, I had something, and that's what I was going to say to you, Caesar, earlier was I put a meme out that was that said, anything that I recognize in somebody else, it's also in me. And a lot of people, I had a lot of backlash from that as well. But I feel that in some form or fashion, we can recognize that in other people easier because it's something that we need to work on internally as well. And that's how, that's how we recognize it, is we can sense those things. And that's why people aggravate you. You know, you get aggravated by people because they're acting in a certain way. Well, a lot of times it's us in the same category and we have to work on something. All right. It's Christina. You want to add anything else? I know you were on muting back. Real quick, I don't want to shut it down without you saying something else.
No, not that I can think of. I think everything was said. Everybody said some great stuff. I really enjoyed listening to what everybody had to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Nate, for that topic. That was a solid topic. And Justin, just so you know, we're basically the same person with the perfectionism stuff.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
How dare you use your technology against me?
Oh man, I'm telling you right now, that made my night finding out what I could do with that. Now I'm happy.
I'm just grateful to be here for the deal changer over here, like this new thing that you're probably gonna be playing with every single Sunday night.
Yeah,
I really am. It's over. It's over. I can't help
Kelly
it.
Update this MacBook, and I'm gonna have balloons and fireworks. She said no.
Anyways, guys.
I'll just have to practice acceptance that I won't have.
All right, guys. So have a great week.
All right, guys. So hope you guys. I'm gonna do this after we got on the live, so just let y'all know. All right, y'all. I love y'all, man. Hey, thanks, guys, for dealing with my weirdness and the funness of it too. And we'll see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. live right here on the Hope Shot. Love y'all. Have a great week. See ya.
Bye.